Welcome to the Hoppothetically podcast with Nikki Downtown and Fat Nate. We provide thoughtful and correct answers to probably the most important questions in the world. I'm a New York City-based comedian. Nathan is a New York City-based dyslexic. Thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoy the show. All right, Hoppothetically episode 31. Welcome back, everybody. We're in New York. This is my apartment.
This is 32.
Nope.
Zach's episode was 31. You said 31 like 5 times.
You're right.
Welcome back, everybody. Hypothetically episode 32. Nick got it wrong, so I got to do it.
All that will be cut.
No.
Well, when you watch the episode, you'll know. If you watch the episode and just see this with no context, you will know I won the war for what gets edited and that I am stronger than Nathan physically and mentally. But if the other part is left in, then you will know that I am merciful. Nathan and I had a big night tonight, went out and hung out with a bunch of New York people. The thing I didn't like was everybody said Nathan and I sway at the same frequency. When we stand, we both sway, and we do it exactly in unison, and people kept calling us on it, and it made me feel, well, like Nathan.
I got to feel like Nick, and I was really happy with that. I sometimes whispered to myself, maybe I'm Nikki Downtown. That's what I call myself when I'm alone. Do you ever think about how animals find other animals hot?
Okay.
I try to like empathize, and I'm like, what's sexy about a dog? And I'm
you try to find it?
Yeah, I try to find it. I'm like, well, they really like it. They like it as much as I like people. There has to be something there.
I think the trick to this would probably be to work. They're probably easier animals than others.
Yeah.
Like a jellyfish is tough, but like a horse, you're like, okay.
I feel like a jellyfish is easy. It's kind of like just a jar of jelly. I could fuck a jar of jelly. I think that's easier.
A sea vagina.
I'd be really impressed if you look at all of people perform bestiality, if one of them was like, I fuck platypi, I'd be like, that's really impressive. I'm honestly, that you can find the sexiness there.
You're like, they lay eggs. And
yeah.
You're like, not after I do what I do.
Yeah.
I want to go back to, you would fuck a jar of jellyfish.
No, just a jar of jelly.
3 or 4 jellyfish in a jar.
Are they still got stingers?
Yeah, they're stingers, but that's like spicy sex.
No, somebody...
Also, if you're in a jar, you put your penis in a jar with jellyfish, you could start peeing, and it would fill up the jar with your penis in it, and then that would neutralize everything. No. Then you're just fucking a jar of pee. Anyway, yeah, Nathan is 6'1", and I am 6'2".
No.
If you're over 6 foot, let's say you're 6'2", you ask somebody, would you give up 3 inches for, and then stuff? Not a lot of people do it. We talked to a guy who has chronic back pain. He can't sleep. We said, would you be 5'11" to heal your back? And he's like, I'd have to sleep on it. And I was like, would your wife be okay with that? And he goes, I honestly don't know. They've been married for like a decade. He goes, I don't know.
I don't know if I would love my girlfriend if she was taller than me.
I wouldn't want my girlfriend to be taller than me because I'm short. I would want her to be taller than me because she's a monster.
There was a person that I used to work with that was like 6'2".
I would love a girlfriend that I could really all out wrestle with and try my best and then maybe lose sometimes.
They would get to be the big spoon then, because that's how it works. If they can beat you in a fight, they're the big spoon.
That'd be amazing. I would love to lose at wrestling to a girl. Whenever I normally lose in wrestling to a girl, it's because I'm being chivalrous. I go to bars and I'm like, I start wrestling them and they're like, get the fuck off of me. And then I let them win because I'm chivalrous and then I buy them a drink. Remember Suplex City?
Yeah. Great town. Wonderful people.
That would be good. If you get into
good
wrestling
food.
And people ever ask you where you're from, you say Suplex City and then you suplex them. A suplex, if you don't know, is where you grab them like this and then you slam them over your back and you probably say something.
And they're like, what do you mean by you're from Suplex City? And I was like, I had a very abusive father. And they're like, oh.
That would be really funny if you had an abusive dad, but he only suplexed you.
Yeah, he just suplexes.
And you're trying to get through this traumatic story to your therapist, but when you finally get to the part where he exclusive suplexed you, it was funny. And you're like, no, it's serious. I have videos.
Yeah. And he's like,
he just keeps going, Suplex City! And you're like, well, that's funny. If you had to go into court and show the court on a doll where your dad touched you, and you have to just suplex the doll. Here's what my dad did. He grabbed me and went, oh, yeah!
Because of all the suplexing, it's like ingrained into you that's literally where you're from. So when people ask you where you're from and like, oh, just show us on a map. Well, they're looking at the map. You start pointing around, but then you get them and you suplex them.
And what county is that in? Payne County. It was tough. Where was your mom on all this? She was the ref. And she was never paying close enough attention. Those refs never are.
Yeah.
I think she was on the take.
I saw this. It was just a video of people were commenting on how fake wrestling looks. And there was a guy who was wrestling, but the whole time he was like a very Italian looking dude. And he was just spinning a pizza dough like the whole time. And he would put it between his legs. And in the fight, when the guy would come at him, he would throw the pizza dough at him and then tackle him. And then while he was doing moves on him, was just also spinning the pizza pizza dough with his other hand still.
It's very fun. If wrestling is fake and everyone knows it's fake, can I be a character who uses guns? People try to suplex me and I'm like, and they have to like,
I think if you're going to do it, you got to like, I don't think you're allowed to just shoot them straight away. I think you have to like John Wick, do like a weird karate move and then shoot them. I think that's okay.
or maybe no guns, but like an archer, like long range wrestlers. And you have to act like it's clearly like a foam tip arrow, but you know, because it's pro wrestling, so you act like you're like,
I think you would still lose to the pizza guy. If like, think about like a wrestling room. If you were on one side, I was on the other, and you had a bow and arrow, and I had a roll like spinning pizza dough,
I would snipe it out of your hand.
No, I think
you would throw it up, and as it was up, I would pew.
No, I think I would throw it at you. So it spun like that, and then you would try to shoot an arrow, but it would get caught in the pizza dough, and I think it would get you. I actually think pizza dough is surprisingly a very useful tool.
You know what would be a good tool that would just add to the overall fun of pro wrestling is I think they should be able to use smoke bombs and flare guns. That would be, if you could shoot each other with flare guns.
I think if you're
they don't kill you, but they would burn your skin and they make a big.
I'm pretty sure if you're close enough, flare guns are just guns. Just
all right, fine, just smoke bombs. So you're allowed to at one point.
I think wedgies should be allowed.
I think they are allowed. Trans athletes should be allowed in pro wrestling. It's fake anyway, so let's let in the fake women. They'd be like, I'm the Undertaker, and then someone else is like, I'm a man, and we're like, both of those.
all these trans people join WWE just so people will call them the right pronouns.
Yeah, that should be the only. I'm for trans athletes in sports, but it has to be professional wrestling. They can be a pro swimmer in the WWE. That's their character.
Just like,
I'm the swimmer lady from Florida.
There's like a mainline Republican that's like, I'm not going to call you by the correct pronouns, and you're like, no, I'm like the Undertaker's daughter. He's like, oh my God, yeah, I'll call you the right pronouns.
Remember that swimmer? She won a bunch of stuff, and then the Florida governor was mad because she's not a biological. Anyway, she would have all these cool swimming moves, like the chlorine vagina.
Her moves have to have the vagina in it, so people know. So people know that she's a woman.
The chlorine vagina, and he's like, it's so valid.
Most other swimmers don't train with suplexes. She's like, I have to do both. I have to also be in the WWE.
She's in a race and she tries to suplex the other swimmer. Like, you can't do that. She's like, I know.
Honestly, I think swimming is a pretty boring sport to watch, and running too. I would be cool if they added wrestling moves. If you could catch up to another runner and then take him down.
That'd be a really funny strategy. If you thought you could get away with doing shit like that because you're underwater, you're like, I'll just splash around a lot so they can't see, and then I'll suplex him. But, obviously the splashes go away, and then, what is he? He's not even in his lane. He's grabbing the guy in lane 2 and trying to swim him into the bottom of the pool head first in what is the slowest, most uncomfortable suplex.
No, I'd watch that. I think that's just borderline what water polo is, but I think it's very watchable.
No, water polo is where you get into a pool on a bunch of horses. That would be so funny. Okay, you come from polo and you've been invited to water polo and everyone's in the pool, and then you trot up on your huge fucking horse and jump, and you're like, okay, butterscotch, and you jump into the pool with your horse, and people are swimming along and you keep whacking them with mallets. You're like, these guys are chumps. They should have brought their horse.
Just kill like every other water polo player.
But then you're not looking. The WWE trans lady suplexes you right off your horse.
Here's the question. So you're walking down the street at night and a guy walks up behind you with a gun and says, give me all your money or I'll shoot you. And he's kind of nervous.
I would go, shoot you? You what? You let
me finish.
You shoot me? And then I go,
no, you're not.
Get his nip.
No. And you
get his nip.
Yeah. And he's not making a lot of eye contact. And he just hasn't found his voice yet as a mugger.
It sounds like this is you. You've written yourself into the question.
I don't like that you're...
What if I was a mugger?
How do you help him? Like, do you give him some advice or...
Yeah, well, the traditional thing when someone's nervous public speaking is you would tell them to imagine the audience in their underwear. But he has a gun. So I'd be like, what you should do is the person you're going to mug, you make them get in their underwear. You say, get in your fucking underwear. And then they get in their underwear. And then, you feel a little more secure because, look how silly they look. They're in their underwear. Also, I think it can be scary raising your voice. But what you do is you take the gun, and you just fire fire it. So that's really loud, and also you and the other person's hearing will be much worse, and then you'll be able to talk more loudly. And they're in their underwear, you take the hot end of the gun and you can touch it to their chest.
I feel like if I was in this situation, I'd do like the easy stuff. Like, just, I know you're nervous. Just remember that the muggy is more scared of you than you are of them.
It doesn't feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
People keep saying that, but it doesn't feel like that.
People like getting mugged by muggers with good energy. That's really what they don't tell you. You come in with confidence and people will notice you.
It takes two to mug.
Yeah.
This is a collaborative effort.
It's a conversation.
It's a dance. Yeah. It's a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And just remember that it's all about active listening. And then you'd be like, that was really helpful. And then he would try to mug me and I'd be like, no. And then I'd pull out a gun.
If you want to get the rest of this information, you have to take my course. It's $35 per hour. Sign-up's online now.
And then he'd be like, can I have $35? And I'd be like, no. You don't have to worry about that. First lesson's free. And in a sense, you've already mugged me.
Yeah, you know what? Because you were so good at mugging me, I will give you a 10% discount. Do you think before people do actually do their first mugging, they run it in the mirror? They're like, no, that's stupid. Hey.
They like go to friends and family. They're like,
yeah.
Can
I run this by you?
Yeah, can I run this by you? I've tried a few different things. And they're like, I don't really believe that you're mugging me when you say it like that. Try to make your voice deeper.
You try a different line. Hey, it's me, Muggs Bunny. Nope.
No.
Nope, but I had to try it. I had to try it.
What if he's like really stuck on Muggs Bunny? Like, that's dumb. And he's like, I just need a tag. How will they remember me? It's like, that's the only thing you're hoping they don't do.
Muggs Bunny, instead of going, what's up, doc, or whatever, he would go, give me your fucking money.
If I walked up to someone on the street and they were eating a very large raw carrot and they went, give me your fucking money. I do think.
Would you infer Muggs Bunny?
I would infer Muggs Bunny.
Like, are you at real Muggs Bunny? It's me, Muggs Bunny. We're out here. We're out here stealing. And then you run away through a tunnel. And then when they tried to chase you, it turns out it's painted onto a brick wall. Muggs Bunny just staring at you with a gun, alone, just kept going, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season. Oh no, he goes, duck season. And you just sit there and he's like, say rabbit season. I don't want to. He's like, say rabbit season. You're like, rabbit season, duck season. Okay, it's duck season. Say rabbit season. You think it's rabbit season. Rabbit season, duck season. Ah!
When he was mugging you, you try to talk normally. He's like, don't do that.
Lisp. You'd make them beg for their life with the, please don't kill me. I have a family. So you're on a double date. It's the two, your girlfriend and the other girlfriend know each other. Mm-hmm. You don't know the guy. He goes to the bathroom. He's in there for a few minutes, comes back, sits down. You go to the bathroom afterwards. You open up the lid. You see his poop. He has carved his poop into SOS. What do you do?
If he's carving his poop in SOS, I'm going to speak his language. I'm going to write a message.
You're going to poop in there and be like, what's wrong? Is everything okay?
No, I'm not fucking...
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to...
I hope you're not struggling.
Yeah. Sit there for... My girlfriend's going to text me like...
Dearest Nick.
My girlfriend's going to text me like an hour later, like, what is taking you so long? And it's like, dude, the letter J is really hard to write in shit.
Oh, you shit it out written. You don't just shit and then sculpt it. There's two schools of thought with sculpting. You either find the sculpture in the marble or you build out, and you're a build. You shit.
Yeah.
You shit it all.
I mean, I'm an artist.
I'm more of I shit a vague blob, and then I get in there with my hands and feet.
That makes sense. You're pretty hacky.
I get in there and I, you know.
No, because then you're
sweaty work.
You just like come out covered in shit, and you see the guy who's pretending to be normal is just also covered in shit.
And you're both like,
and he's like, I need to use the restroom, and then he goes back in.
Reads your message, comes out in way more shit. I need to use the restroom again too. Boy, these oysters are really sitting funny. Anyway, just so much shit. The whole restaurant is left by now. Everyone's throwing up, and you're like.
Or maybe I'd be, environmentally friendly. I'd write back. I would just try to take his SOS and make that into something.
That's environmentally friendly? You're saving your poop? You don't think there's any way you can talk this out in a subtle way? You go out and you're like, somebody forgot to flush. And he's like...
No, I think this is a poop-to-poop conversation.
That's true. He started it in poop. If he wanted to talk, he would have talked.
He would have said something. He
could have tapped, or he could have...
note. I'm worried he would pass a note and then would open it. It would just with shit on the paper.
Smeared on there.
Yeah, SOS.
Maybe that's how you do it. You shit on a note. Because you want to be quick, but you want to keep him comfortable.
But the note literally just explains how stupid the pooping and he's like, this is clearly how you would pass a shit note.
Like, are you seeing the amount of precision I'm getting with the shit note? And then the next note you pass him is like a portrait of him in shit that you drew. You're like, look at this. Look at what I was able to do. I mean, you used all your shit for 3 letters. This is barely any shit. I still have 75% of a shit sitting under my chair right now.
The next thing you send him is just a note with like a YouTube link to how to do like calligraphy. Like, this is how you do it as a professional.
Calligraphy.
Poo.
A lot of smart asses like you come in there and go, isn't this about poo? And you're like, shut the fuck up. Think of a better one then. Add poo to calligraphy.
Is that what?
Calligraphy? No, that sucks. Calligraphy is clearly, shut the fuck. You have a really self-conscious.
Yeah, he's like, what do we do?
I have a doctorate.
Yeah, he's like,
I have a doctorate in calligraphy, okay? It's called calligraphy.
And then
it's from the ancient Greek.
Yeah, but what?
Yes,
what,
do you have a question?
Yeah. What about when you do calligraphy with P?
No one would. That's ridiculous. That's watercolors.
It's called a liberal arts degree, and it's useless.
You just back at the table. You have like a moment where it's just you and the other girlfriend, his girlfriend, and she's like, he didn't write you any messages in his shit, did he? You would tell me if he did, right? You're like, no, I'm just, sometimes he writes messages in his shit. I don't know why he does that, but just, would you tell me?
I feel like, is it bad that my first thought was to just gaslight her and be like, I do too, we all do. Do you not write messages in?
And she's like, who do you think taught him?
And
she pulls out a big rope of shit. She's like, watch this. And then, what animal do you want?
Yeah. He's like, if that was the case, if you taught him, my only note would be clean up those O's, you know?
What if you find out he actually meant sass? Shit as a service. But he's, he gets to clean up those O's.
It's actually a product suite. He's trying to be the AWS of poop.
I don't want to have to buy poop wholesale. I want to be able to subscribe to poop, keep it on the cloud, and then when I need it, there's poop.
A bowl-based platform that allows me to connect to it and then automatically get shit anywhere I want.
This really might have been the most disgusting question we've done.
That's why I wanted to move. It was like, not that I didn't think we'd keep riffing. It's just I didn't want to keep riffing on this.
I mean, I think others have been more disgusting in that we incorporate other bodily functions, but this is the most
shit-based.
The most poop we've ever talked about, I think.
Spoiler alert, get all the way up to watching season 4 of Attack on Titans.
And also make sure you watch all the way up to episode 31 of Hoppothetically, because this ruins every episode so far with the spoiler he's about to give. Yeah. You know how every episode of Hoppothetically ends on a crazy cliffhanger?
Yeah.
This one thing he's about to say, it gives away the game.
Yeah. So it's, that part of Attack on Titan where all the little children are given Titans? You get in there, you make it through, they're like, you get to be a Titan. And you're like, oh my God, what Titan do I get to be? And they're like, you're gonna be the female Titan. And you're like, what powers does the female Titan have? And it's like, yeah, she's fierce. She's a queen.
Yeah. You have the power of being a boss-ass bitch. You have the amazing power of not needing a man.
You are independent. Aren't the other Titans independent? It's like, yeah, in a sense.
It's easy for them.
Yeah, it's easy for them.
Easy for them.
You're going to have to work 10 times harder in this world to get the same kind of respect. Are you selling it to me or what?
Like, you'll be in a meeting and you'll go, and then no one will really listen to you, but then the Attack Titan will go, and everyone's like, well, that's really interesting, Attack Titan. Then you're like,
Again, your question is just like, will it be weird? It's like, you'll be very confused.
You become a Titan and they just find you in the woods like squeezing your own tits.
Yeah. They're like doing performance. You're like, is he a good Titan? He's like fine as the female Titan. He just keeps trying to say his pronouns are he, him, and it's like, stop. Go kill monsters.
Keeps trying to finger himself. You don't have a vagina.
Yeah.
Gives himself a vagina. I was gonna not say that because that's so fucked up, but yeah.
Yeah.
Stabs a vagina, and you know how that's all steaming when they get attacked. He has this steaming, gaping vagina, and it's healing. So he only gets to finger himself for a few moments before it heals. You're like a self-conscious Titan. You become a Titan. You're like, I have no no ass. I'm the female Titan. I have no ass.
You would get to know what you looked like as a giant monster girl.
And you know how everybody's version of every Titan is different?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you would remember Annie's Titan, how she was, like, really in shape, and then you become
Have
female
a
Titan.
boxy.
Yeah, you, like, have small tits and, like, a big stomach and, like, a flat ass. You're like, oh.
Yeah. People are like, oh, you're the out of shape Titan. You're like, no, I'm the female Titan. It's like,
you have
like
glasses. Yeah. Titan like it's made of you. It's just stuck to your face. I have Titan glasses. And the Attack Titan keeps ignoring you. And then the Cart Titan's like, hey. Like,
yeah, you're short though.
You're short and you have a big, long mouth.
I guess I'd talk to the Jaw Titan. Great jawline, but just also pretty short.
Would you rather be jacked with no penis like the Attack Titan, or you get to keep your penis, but you have a big, long mouth like the Cart Titan?
Long mouth.
Like it goes out like this far, like a full duck bill.
Like a snout?
You have a snout.
Oh, I take the snout.
Snout and penis.
Snout and penis.
Your snout is as long as your penis.
I think that's just interesting. And then people would, when they talked about your penis, they'd be like, is it a bigger penis or just a regular penis?
That's true. People might have sex with you just because you're so exotic. They're like,
Yeah.
I had sex with the snout guy,
It's like the double dick dude.
but worse.
Yeah, I'd take two double dick dudes. Like, that's an achievement. Like,
Plus,
that's
you
cool.
can fly like tails. The
You'd be
double
like-
dick guy cheats on his wife, and he's like, "No, I didn't, because this is my
I
this
think-
is my wife
I
penis."
think it's the best argument for polygamy. Like, you get one marriage per penis.
Maybe that should be if trans people don't want people doubting their identity. 2 penises. Oh, you think I'm not a real man?
I've-
Twice the penises you have. You have one. You're not a
That's
real
fair.
man.
Is it 4 balls or they still have 2 balls?
4 balls.
4 balls.
Six
6
balls.
balls. They have more than enough
6 balls. Keep the change.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to a lady, you have a double barrel vagina.
That would-
Squirt.
That would be because there's a lot of.
Wait. Nathan. Squirt.
Do you have a question? I just think we've. Cut. Why is this reloading taking so long? What is your question?
I gotta pop out the shells.
What is your question? Question?
I just shot you a bunch of times with my vagina.
Like,
With my
great.
double barrel vagina gun.
What's your
You
question?
know what it shoots? Queefs.
It's 2 a.m. What's your question?
If someone about to shoot you with a queef, would you block it or just take it?
I would block
They
it with
said,
a fart.
I have a queef gun. You're going to be shot in 3, 2. What do? You do nothing.
Can you read your question?
Queef gun. Guy comes up. Open your mouth.
Read the question, dog.
Do you know about Israel-Palestine at all?
Yeah, dog.
Okay, you know how right now it's Israel versus Palestine? Okay, Israel versus Palestine versus Connecticut. All right, Connecticut's getting in there. You know Super Smash Bros. When it's like a new challenger, it's Connecticut.
They play that on the loudspeakers over all of Israel
Israel
land.
and Palestine.
New challenger approaches.
Connecticut. And just a guy in like board shorts. Hey guys, excited to join the fight.
Yeah, they're like, this is really a border dispute for us. I just don't feel like how you, Connecticut, how do you really fit into this picture?
And they're like, we actually, not a lot of people know this, but we actually have better pizza than in New York.
No, like that's
We have a claim to the pizza. We have a claim to the holy city.
that's great. Like your pizza's awesome. I mean, I don't really eat pizza because it's not, a lot of it isn't halal.
Who are you being right now?
I'm being both.
You're being Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, they actually
They're
agree on
finally
this.
getting together.
Yeah. I think it would.
That's what they're missing.
Yeah,
It's
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah, I think it would be Israel and Palestine versus Connecticut, and then once they beat Connecticut, it would just be Israel versus Palestine again.
Palestine's making all the women wear the hijabs, and then Connecticut's like, let's throw a bow tie on there. Throw a bow tie right on the front. How about that? Working together.
Wait, so are the people from Connecticut doing mass exoduses to Israel and Palestine?
To the Holy Land, yes.
To the Holy Land.
Yeah. Israel's like, this is where Moses, whatever. And Palestine's like, this is where Sword Moses, whatever. Does Palestine have a character called Sword Moses?
No. You know what? I'm not going to get into it.
And then Connecticut's like,
This is where Chad.
this is where Chad Coxworth.
This is where Chad's Coxworth shotgun to 17th beer, and then we went sailing.
And then there was that gigantic monster that appeared, and Chad Coxworth vanished for a few minutes, and then Superman came and beat the monster, and then suddenly there was Chad Coxworth again. Pretty good callback, right?
Yeah, Chad's Coxworth. I couldn't remember his name.
Chad, every time there's these disasters, where do you go? Lick box, dude. His excuses are like gross. I was going to pound your mom. Oh, Chad Coxworth, everybody. I was doing cocaine. Every time he gets back from a Superman mission, he has to act all jacked up on cocaine. Instead of going into a phone booth, he goes into the bathroom, and you just hear as he flies away. And And he gets back out of the bathroom after fighting the monster. And he's all bloody. Comes out like, whoa! Hookers can hit. Damn it, Chad. You crazy bitch.
I don't know about Connecticut.
Connecticut prep. They all call New York just the city. They're like, oh, I'm going to move into the city after college. And if by the city they meant like Jerusalem. That would be a classic Connecticut thing.
Yeah.
They live in Hartford, but they commute every day to Jerusalem. It's not even that, dude. It's like 80 hours on the train. Podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast. It's 80 hours one way. Whatever. Israel versus Palestine versus Texas. It's like, well, that's a bloodbath.
That's not going to
And I'm not saying Texas is going to win. I'm saying everyone will be dead.
There will be no survivors.
Texas is a stick of dynamite you're just throwing onto this thing. Texas doesn't even try to understand who's who.
No.
No one here's Christian. That's going to be a problem.
Both sides just trying to argue. They're like, we're like kind of like Christian.
I know Christian was.
Yeah, I know Christian. Or
Yeah.
Portland. Yeah.
Homemade recycled like missiles.
Yeah. I think it would just be Portland versus itself. Like they would the two other groups.
This is an eco-friendly Tomahawk missile. It's made of old newspapers and compost. Does it explode? No. It's just a tube of shit.
I think Portland could actually solve the conflict, as neither side would want to be involved anymore. It would really ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see the Portland political ideology come up against Israel.
Probably
They'd be up there like, ban the police! And then the Israeli border people just beat the shit out of them. This is brutality! And they're like, yes.
Yeah, this is.
Yes, it is. It is. You think that was brutality? Check this.
Yeah. You're like Ace Ventura, pet detective, but you're solving pet on pet crime, and your partner's on the take from the corgis. When you find out that he's on the take, there's a shootout, and he dies. There's blood on your hands, and you're on the run now. And your only allies in this hellish dog-eat-dog city are the pit bulls, but they don't give a fuck about your games. They don't fucking play games, dog. What are you gonna fucking do?
I'm so tired. I usually have an idea immediately when you're done talking. That all I thought of as you stopped talking was, I am so tired.
I think it's a fun question.
This has so many parts. So it's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
You're just no, don't worry about that.
Oh, it seems like I have to worry about that.
No. You're Jim Carrey, but you solve pet on
What's
pet.
that with you with Jim Carrey questions?
I
You
mean-
know both. I haven't even seen this movie.
Fine, you're
and
not-
I don't think you've seen this movie.
I have. Don't worry about it. You're a detective that solves pet on pet crime.
What's a pet on pet crime? Give me a specific crime I'm solving.
Like dogs doing stuff to other animals.
Like what?
Like if a dog mugs another dog.
For what? Are they just disappointed every time? They're like, give me your wallet. And the dog's like, and he's like, damn it. Never have wallets.
No, they're gonna fight for dog stuff.
Like what?
Like bones. I mean, clearly there are pet on crimes. I mean, your partner was on the take, but I assume it was for kibble. I don't really get or why you'd even have a partner, or what they could be on the take for. Like what they would actually get out of it. But they were, and you killed him in cold blood. There was actual police officers now getting involved in your very silly detective work, and they're gonna actually try to arrest you for a real murder that you did. And you can try to explain it to them, but they're gonna be like, that was.
Why don't you give me an example of what an answer to the question might be, and then I'll take it.
I don't like that you're doing this. I don't like that you won't just do.
What would you
fun
do
questions.
if all that shit happened?
I just think you're angry and you're tired and you're not willing to try new things.
What would you do? You're Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, but you solve pet on pet crimes, and the corgis are bribing your partner, and you find out, so you kill him, and something about pit bulls are helping you.
That was really just like do the dog eat dog. I just wanted to get that pun in.
Nope, that's part of it. The pit bulls are helping you.
No, they're not helping you. They don't play games. They're only friends, but they don't play games.
Yeah, right. That made no sense. Okay, the pit bulls don't play games, which is a detail you should remember. Because you're trying to get one of those poker tables with a bunch of dogs, and you think, maybe I'll invite the pit bulls. You shouldn't. You should not. They do not play games.
It's because of the racial discrimination. It's people don't like them. People think they're aggressive, but they're not. They're very friendly people, but they don't play games. So maybe some of it.
Maybe that's where the stereotype comes
Yeah,
from.
maybe that's where there's some
The only
truth
crime I could think of as dogs on dogs is if you like fix dog fights. Like a dog took the fall. They're fighting and the dog's like, you got me.
No, I think they kill the other dog. I don't think there's.
He plays dead. He's clearly playing dead. I can see him breathing. His tail is wagging because he thinks he got away with it. And the ref's like, nah, I don't think so.
No, I think it's good.
Calling it. Dead.
Clean. Because the ref is on the take.
That little thing I just did, the dog poker table, and then the playing, that was more than you deserved.
I feel like it was a fine question.
Then answer it. What do you got?
You suck. I don't want to do this. I'm done.
It's 2 in the goddamn morning, Nathan. Can't just read me a book and then be like, and then what would happen? I don't know what would happen. Sounds like it's a book you're writing. Why don't you finish the book? This is all staying in. Me lecturing you.
Okay, do you do a question?
Be better.
Do a question.
There's storm chaser, but you actually are trying to catch the storms. And then you have the storms, and you put them in a zoo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You answer first.
Petting zoo. The kids would come in. Oh, can I pet the tornado?
What kid would pet a tornado?
It'd be really cute tornadoes. The ones that like just barely touch the ground. Mom, can I pet the tornado? If you're careful. And then they get sucked in. Now it's a bigger tornado. Now it's a tornado with a kid in it. Makes it cuter. A tornado's cuteness is directly measured by how many kids are in it. But when adults are in tornadoes, not very cute. Get that tornado away from my son. There's a bunch of men in that tornado. What if there was a tornado where literally the only debris it picked up was men? The tornado touched down on a men's choir. And you can hear the tornado coming because it's going, oh, it's harmonizing.
I just think if you had a tornado of men, there'd be too many people going, it's raining men.
It's raining. Yeah, we know it's raining.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we know. Yeah. Yep. You got it. Right on the nose.
Follow-up song, it's tornadoing men.
Episode 32.
We don't have more about the tornado of men or the
No.
petting zoo of storms?
More on pet detective stuff, or are we going to be done with this?
You're just spitefully not answering
Yeah,
my
I
question,
am.
but mine actually was a question.
Mine was a question, too.
Yours was a book. Yours was a novella.
That's fine.
That's probably a version of this podcast is how the guy wrote the Book of Mormon. Like if you did this podcast for like 6 years and you keep getting more confident with your fucking questions, I think you would just come out and read me something the length of the Book of Mormon.
I just think we could do...
And then Joseph heard from the angel Gabriel, and you would read me the whole Book of Mormon. And you'd be like, and then what?
I think we could just do more improvisational questions, and not everything needs to be dicks and wieners and fucking...
I was about tornadoes.
That was the only one. You had
No, I had Israel versus Palestine versus Connecticut.
You're coming at me for the quality of my question, but you had a 2-minute bit where you just pretended to fire a vagina gun at me.
I mean, you can't even say that without laughing.
I'm just saying, when you're like, oh, your stuff is too complicated, it's like, well, it's better than vagina gun.
No, because vagina gun asks nothing of you.
Vagina gun asks everything of all of us.
You just read me these long ass things, and then you're like, you take it away.
No,
and I'm
yeah.
like, well, what do I do with that shit?
No, I give you the intro to a fun story, and you can just build on it any way you want.
I decided the way I wanted to build on it was by yelling at you.
Vagina gun was stupid.
People are going to like vagina gun.
No one's
I suspect vagina gun will be a clip, and people will know how to load it. You want to turn with vagina gun?
I want to end the podcast. Nope.
There's vagina gun. You're holding it.
It's gone.
You're still holding it.
No, I threw it away.
Yep. Nope. It's back.
My palms are open.
Second vagina gun.
It's gone.
Vagina bazooka.
I don't know what that even...
It's a vagina bazooka.
That's on the podcast.
Guess what it shoots? Leaves.
Yeah.
You load it. Shoots down planes.
How are you getting the ammunition?
Shoots down from big women.
Jesus.
From big patriotic women.
Oh, I thought you were...
And there's planes and you...
But
it takes a second. They're like, I think I'm fine. And then they're like, oh my God. And then
But there's legislation being passed by weak men that are trying to ban...
They're saying it's chemical warfare.
Yeah, they're trying to ban the combat queefs. I'm not super up to date on the literature, but they argue that it's against the Geneva Convention.
Who is it that they said was using chemical weapons? Was it Saddam Hussein? One of those guys, whenever they accuse them of using chemical weapons, and it turns out there's no evidence. If somebody went before the UN, it was just like, we did an investigation. It turns out the chemical weapons was Saddam's wife's stinky pussy. And then everyone in the UN Council's like, oh, shit!
He's like, you want to see a chemical weapon? And then he just does a big fart.
Yeah. Boom. And that's how we overthrew Saddam Hussein.
Episode...
Are you mad at me?
Episode 30...
Are you mad at me, Nathan?
Episode 32 of Hoppothetically.
Wait, I never want to end the episode mad. That's a rule I have. I don't like to end any Hoppothetically episode mad. What's wrong, Nathan?
Hypothetically, episode
what's
32. If I press the stop button, you have to use my take.
What's bothering you, Nathan?
Don't touch me with your foot. I want to go to bed.
Will you say good job on the vagina again?
No, I thought it was stupid, and I think you should cut it. But you did a bunch of other bits afterward. We did a lot of bits afterwards, so now you have to keep in what is arguably a very bad bit. And I think you're going to cut the dog thing, which, which is admittedly making me very annoying.
So it's that you think I'm going to cut the dog thing. That's what's bothering you.
You're going to cut the dog question, and then you're going to call me. I'm coming off of a long day of work, and you're going to tell me you cut the dog question. And it's like, why do you cut all the questions that you don't like of mine, but you have terrible questions of yours that you never cut?
I think it's good that you're saying this out loud.
I don't think you're going to cut the spaghetti Western question, and that's...
I am not going to cut the spaghetti Western question.
And
the idea of having a holster full of spaghetti and you throw it at people is funny.
Okay, I think the fact that you guys, as the audience, know what the spaghetti Western question is, and the fact that it wasn't cut is just ludicrous.
Why would I cut a fan favorite? This is our Pickle Rick. Do you feel better?
No, I don't.
Now that you've aired your grievances?
I just
Well, I want you to know.
What if poop could come? Like fucking, and it was spaghetti.
Well, Nathan, I forgive you.
Okay, great. End the fucking episode so we can get out of here.
Hypothetically, episode 32, everybody. Thanks. Oh, make sure you follow us on Patreon. We got bonus episodes. So Nathan did stand up for the first time. We're going to record our reactions to his set and maybe my first set. I'm not sure. That'll be on the Patreon. And also my solo writing / podcast series, 15 Punchlines with Nick. It's called something like that. Anyway, check out our Patreon. You can subscribe $5 for the Fat Nate tier, $10 for the Nicky Downtown tier. It's got a lot of good stuff. Thanks so much for listening. That is the episode. Good night.